incident. Now, in fact, let's shift our focus to other developments that are making headlines internationally. Ukraine hit on an oil depot in Russia's southern region of Rostov amid an escalation of attacks from both Russia and Ukraine in the recent days. Ukraine has also destroyed a radar station in Russia hosting the Russian Buk M3 anti-aircraft missile system, the Ukrainian army has said. Now, the attack comes after a week of intensified drone and missile attacks from both the sides. All right, viewers, joining me live on the broadcast is my colleague Brian Thomas. Brian, in the latest developments that we are tracking from the Russia-Ukraine war, in fact, the breakthrough has come and Ukraine claims a hit on depot on the Russian oil refinery. What is the latest that you are picking up?
Well, the latest that we are letting you know, Simran, and the viewers also, the Ukrainian military has reported that it struck the Atlas oil depot in Russia's southern Rostov region, triggering a significant fire, and this happened on the night of November 29th, when the Atlas oil depot in southern Russia's Rostov region was struck, and the Ukrainian armed forces even wrote on their Telegram platform that added that the fire had Governor Yuri Slysuar also confirmed the incident, stating that a major fire erupted at this very industrial site in the Kaminsky district after major drone attack. Now, pro-Russian politician Vladimir Rogov also shared images and videos of the nightmare blast, widely circulated on local social media as well. Now, the Atlas depot, according to earlier Russian agencies and reports, also suggested that it had supplied fuel to Russian military during training exercises. Now, Ukraine's general staff also alleged that Atlas is part of Russia's military-industrial complex, providing petroleum products to its armed forces, and this marks the third attack on the facility this year, following the strikes that happened in earlier and late August as well. Now, in a very separate development also, again very important to note, that Ukraine has also claimed to have destroyed a Russian Buk M3 surface-to-air missile system radar station in the occupied Zaporozhye region. Meanwhile, Russia's military reported that its air defense systems intercepted 47 Ukrainian drones overnight, 29 of which targeted the Rostov region, home to the southern military district headquarters. Simran.
Well, Brian, in fact, as more updates are being tracked from the Russia-Ukraine war, the Ukrainian President Zelensky has also suggested, in fact, ending the hot phase and says that NATO membership could end if unoccupied Ukraine comes under NATO. What is the latest that you're tracking in that regard, as President Vladimir Zelensky has suggested the parts of Ukraine under his control should be taken under the NATO umbrella to try and stop the hot phase of the war? All right, viewers. Now, let me also get my guest, Colonel J.S. Sodhi, International Affairs expert on the broadcast. Appreciate you joining me live on the broadcast, and thank you for speaking to NewsX. At this point of time, in fact, while we are currently tracking the latest updates from the Russia-Ukraine war, what has been emerging is that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has suggested that the parts of Ukraine under his control should be taken under the NATO umbrella and to try and stop the hot phase of the war. This latest suggestion, in fact, has come as in the continuation of the attacks by Ukraine on Russia as well. How do you view this latest suggestion, and how do you view this suggestion impending also the implications from the Russian side?
It's my honor to be on your esteemed channel. Well, the Ukrainian President Zelensky knows very well that the war with Russia is now in the final stages, because after Donald Trump assumes power as the 47th President of US, the first thing that he's going to do is put an end to this prolonged war. So it is in the last few days that Zelensky is trying everything possible under the sun to, which also includes escalating attacks on Russia so that it can gain maximum mileage whatsoever. However, yesterday, like you rightly said, the Ukrainian President has also hinted that he would like this war to end, and he is ready to give the 18% territory which is presently in the Russian control to Russians, provided he is given the NATO security umbrella. Well, this isn't going to happen, because Donald Trump in his election rallies has said very clearly that he will not give any NATO protection to Ukraine after he assumes power. So this is all a last-minute bargaining being done by Zelensky to ensure that the war favorably ends in his terms, though internally he knows very well, USA knows very well that this war has been lost to Russia because Russia now occupies 18% of the Ukrainian soil. Another thing, Simran, which is of immense importance is because now hardly 1.5 months is left for Donald Trump to assume power. So it is in these 6 weeks that every possible attempt is being done by Zelensky to ensure that somewhat he becomes a hero in his country and losses which Ukraine has suffered severely get mitigated to a larger extent.
Mr. Sodhi, in fact, at this point, as you are also pointing out the developments in a long, wide-ranging interview, in fact, it has been mentioned in the international media that Ukrainian president was asked whether he would accept the NATO membership or not, but only on the territory that Kyiv currently holds. Zelensky very pointedly has said that if NATO membership was offered on the whole of the Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders first, then only it would be considered. So what is your understanding of these statements, particularly coming at this point of time? Are you expecting any breakthrough, or is this a step which is going to be in the vague direction?
One thing is very clear that Donald Trump is not going to give the NATO's membership to Ukraine. And in one of his interviews, Donald Trump has said that Zelensky is the world's best salesman because whenever he comes to US, he takes away billions of dollars worth of money and equipment. So this itself shows the tone and tenor Donald Trump has towards Ukraine and Zelensky. And now Zelensky is trying his level best, and whatever little time is left before Donald Trump assumes power, he should bargain the best, get whatever maximum is possible, because you also know the day Donald Trump assumes power, things will become totally different for Ukraine. Till now, Ukraine has been enjoying unflinching support from the Democrats, but this isn't going to continue once the Republicans come to power next year.
All right, Colonel J.S. Sodhi, thank you for in fact giving us your time and now putting this in perspective as far as the tracking latest developments from the Russia-Ukraine war is concerned. Now, viewers, that was all the news of the nation and the world. We'll continue to track all the developments very closely. Till then, stay with us.